The first race of the Formula One 2021 season got done yesterday, the Bahrain Grand Prix race, and what a race it was. I mean, I watched the race later on, I couldn't catch it live, but the excitement that was built up to the start of the race carried through the entire race, and even on the closing lap of the race there was a chance of the lead being exchanged. Lewis Hamilton coming out on top yet again. I mean, how many times has this master shown us that he is capable of things that not many more drivers in the Formula One circuit are? I mean, Red Bull started off as outright favorites at the start of this particular race. Max Verstappen was supposed to win this with utmost ease, but Lewis Hamilton with his Mercedes team just proved yet again why Mercedes cannot be discounted at any step of the way. But there is no shadow of a doubt which says that Red Bull are not closer to Mercedes. They are challenging them with everything that they've got, and they're closer to Mercedes than ever before. Let's go from lights out when the race started. Max Verstappen P1, Lewis Hamilton starting in P2, while Bottas in P3 again. Nikita Mazepin in the Haas car spinning around on the first lap, and we've seen yet again a Haas car spinning around in the Bahrain International Circuit. The last time it happened, it wasn't a very good sight for the sport. Fortunately, no driver was injured, and even Nikita Mazepin got out of his car safely. It wasn't as severe a crash as that of Romain Grosjean last season. Now, coming back to the race, Verstappen kept his lead from the off. Lewis Hamilton was chasing him. He was always in undercut range. That range was always within 2 seconds. So Mercedes went aggressive from the off. James Allison, now he deserves a lot of credit for this win. He is the chief strategist for the Mercedes Formula One team, and he decided to call Lewis Hamilton in for an early pit stop, his first early pit stop, and it was the aggressive undercut that he went for, and it worked. Red Bull did not decide to bring Max Verstappen back in. They kept him out, and he eventually lost the lead to Lewis Hamilton. Then, when the second round of pit stops came around, Lewis Hamilton again went to the hard tires. Max Verstappen did 3 stops in total, which is why he ended up behind Lewis Hamilton for the final rounds of pit stops were done. The only difference being Lewis was on a hard tire that was 10 laps older than what Max Verstappen was. He was also on the hard tire, but relatively more fresh. So theoretically speaking, he should have had a speed advantage come to the end of the race. But Mercedes' strategy coupled with Lewis Hamilton's driving skills just proved too heavy for Red Bull to counter. He managed his tires towards the end of the race, and even when Max Verstappen came closer to him in terms of his chasing him down, Lewis Hamilton kept his cool and never let him pass. Even when he was in DRS range, he did not budge, and he did not let him go. He did not let him pass at all. There was one instance where Max Verstappen almost took Lewis Hamilton on, I think it was with 3 or 4 laps to go in the race, but it was an illegal overtake because he went off the track to overtake him, so it had position back, and from there on out, Lewis was not looking back. He wasn't giving back the position by any stretch of the imagination. So, Lewis Hamilton P1, Max Verstappen P2, but there was a lot of action that also happened behind them. Let's talk about that for a bit. Valtteri Bottas P3, the third man on the podium, a very distant third, I might add, but that also is because he pitted on the penultimate lap of the race for a fresh set of tires to go for the fastest lap, which just ensured that Max Verstappen does not get the extra point of fastest lap. So Mercedes taking as many points as they could. Bottas finishing 30 seconds behind the leading pair, who were only separated by 0.7 of a second. P4 went to Lando Norris. Now he's been impressive throughout testing. He was impressive throughout the Friday and Saturday practice sessions. He was impressive in qualifying as well. So just carried on that momentum from the qualifying session and went into the race and secured a very solid P4 from McLaren. So very good start for the McLaren team as well. P5, Sergio Perez. Now Sergio Perez had a torrid beginning to the race. On the formation lap, his car stopped, and it looked like he would have had to retire, but he didn't. He managed to start his car again, and but because his car had stopped and he had to start it all over again, the rules say that he had to go back into the pit lane and had to take part in a pit lane start. So he went to the pit lane, started off from the pit lane from the back of the grid, and clawed his way back to P5. So very good, solid race by Sergio Perez as well, getting decent haul of points. Now, as the season progresses, I'm sure he'll get more and more comfortable with the car, and as we build on into the season, I'm sure Red Bull will have another car which will be competing with the Mercedes, a pair of Lewis Hamilton and Valtteri Bottas. Apart from them, Daniel Ricciardo, Charles Leclerc P6, Daniel Ricciardo P7, Carlos Sainz, his Ferrari debut in P8, Tsunoda, the rookie, in P9. A very good day for the AlphaTauri car as well. The AlphaTauris were looking fast, but Pierre Gasly couldn't translate that qualifying pace into the race pace, but Tsunoda did, and he gets his first haul of points in Formula One on his debut. Apart from that, Sebastian Vettel, Fernando Alonso did not do exceedingly well on their first race of the season, but that should change as we go on into the season because they are all world champions. So you can expect a lot from them going forward. That's about wraps it up for race 1 of the 2021 Formula One season. Yes, we are truly underway. 1 race done, 22 races more to go. It's a 23 race calendar year, so it is one of the longest seasons. So it should be one hell of a thriller this entire season. The next race is in Italy, and it's on the 16th to the 18th of April, so watch out for that, and we'll talk about Formula One then again. See you.